Did you know 77% of messages are not properly conveyed every day? Now, I'm not talking about a notification on your phone that says your message was not sent. No, I'm talking about everyday conversations that you have in person, face to face. See, when I first heard this statistic in class, I was completely shocked. Sure, I have horrible hearing, so I mishear what people say occasionally, but I wouldn't think that that means that I miss 77% of all of my conversations. To help explain this, my professor gave us an activity to do. She had us all pull out a piece of paper and close our eyes. She then started to give us directions. You can do this activity if you want. First, fold the paper in half. Then rip off one corner of the paper. Fold the paper in half again. Rip off another corner of the paper. Fold the paper in half. Rip off a corner of the paper. Lastly, fold the paper in half and rip off one corner of the paper. She then had us unfold our papers, hold them up, and open our eyes to look at everyone else's pieces of papers. There are 18 people in my class, and not 2 people had the same piece of paper, and I am willing to bet that you did not either. In our daily lives, so much gets lost in translation. Words rarely accurately depict what our mind is thinking because our thoughts are so complex that words cannot do them justice. If I tell you to imagine an apple, there is no way to confirm that that apple is the same apple that I am seeing. You can say, I have an apple, and mean a big, red, juicy apple that you just picked from an orchard on a crisp fall day. But I can interpret that as an iPhone. Then, you add body language into the mix. From facial expressions to hand movements, our body tells so much more of the story than we realize. Again, just like words, people may interpret our body language differently than we were actually intending it to say. So, 77% of our messages are lost in translation every day. What do we do about that? Well, we can start by first being a good listener. After doing some readings and listening to the lectures in my conflict resolution and transformation class, I came to the groundbreaking realization. This thought stopped me dead in my tracks and honestly made me rethink who I really am as a person. It made me question who I've identified myself as and what kind of friend I really am. See, I realized that I am a horrible listener. I spend so much time thinking about what I'm going to say next that I forget to listen to what the person in front of me is saying. Or I get so excited that all I can think about is when will this person stop talking so I can talk because I need to talk right now. Or the most horrendous thing that I could fall victim to, I get bored of what the other person is saying, and I start to just nod and smile. I start to think of all the other things that I could be doing and how this person is taking me away from that. How horrible is that? I pride myself on being a person that people trust and can come to with their problems, yet here I am, admitting to being the worst listener in the world. Well, probably not the worst, but I'm pretty bad at it. I'm trying to be a better listener, though. I promise. I will now actively set aside my phone or put down what I'm working on when someone starts to talk to me because I want there to be no external distractions, because those are pretty easy to get rid of. The internal distractions are where it gets the trickiest. I have to actively force myself to pay attention to what they are saying. Recently, at my CFC, that's short for Carol Faith Community, we made friendship bracelets with beads, and I had mine say listen, so that whenever I wear it, I remind myself to listen to what other people are saying first, to clear my mind of everything else so that I can give them my full, undivided attention that they truly deserve. This is what is happening in the video. While I am not wearing my bracelet, I actively reminded myself to be fully present when the others at the table are talking, not to interrupt them, and to actively listen what they have to say. At most times in this video, I had my body turned completely towards them so that I would focus on what they were saying and also show them that I was listening. I would try to make eye contact, even though that makes me incredibly uncomfortable, and I would not immediately compare their experiences to mine. Instead, I utilized what we learned in class about active listening and just let them talk, interjecting only when necessary so that I am not trying to make everything about me. I wanted the others to understand that they were being fully heard, understood, and respected, so I gave them the space to share. This video started with me talking about misunderstanding each other. And while starting to actually listen will not completely fix the problem of misinterpretations, I think it's a good start. For me, it'll help improve my relationships, thus making myself and others happier with our conversations we conduct.